Hello folks, welcome back to the channel, and today we've got a stunning flight ahead. We are at Courchevel in the Alps, as you can see. Beautiful visuals, and primarily this video is about the Black Square Bonanza behind me. But of course I am going to talk about the Micro-OLED module that I'm using today, which is the 4K Sony panel, which I've been testing now, and this is my second video of it, and this is a full flight today. Look at this. Oh my word, that is absolutely stunning visuals. I literally feel like I'm here right now. That would make a really nice Christmas tree, that. So yeah, let's get back to the aircraft. We'll talk more about it, and of course this module, and how it is becoming very quickly my favourite daily driver. So just to say before we get going that this video is proudly sponsored by Stormforce, and every video you see on this channel is by one of those computers. In fact, I'm using a powered by MSI RTX 5090 machine, which you can get £200 off, but there's also a Black Friday deal going on right now with Stormforce. You can get up to £1,200 off a range of gaming PCs, which is pretty damn crazy. They also have a very nifty configurator tool, which you can basically customize your PC to get the very specs that you want. And I really do like how they've got that now on their website. I am a massive fan of Stormforce, folks, and I'm saying that through years of experience using their PC systems. And I know a lot of you out there are now rocking Stormforce computers. So I'd highly urge, check out the link below. You might be able to get a fantastic deal on a brand new flight sim PC. And here it is. This is the Black Square Bonanza. A complete rewrite of their original analog gauge overhaul for MSFS 2020. And if you have seen my Baron video, this is the same kind of thing here. I hate to say the word study level, but when it comes to Black Square, this really is general aviation at its finest. It truly is. We have got 3 different variants as well. We've got a mid-2000 Bonanza. I think we've got a turbocharged one. And this, in my opinion, is worth the price of the add-on alone. This is the turbine version, and it's incredibly powerful. You've got 3,000 plus feet per minute climb, and it's why I've chosen this model today, because we are very high up here in the French Alps. I think we're around 6,000-7,000 feet even before we've taken off. So this is our steed today, and it's going to be perfect for this flight. And by the way, if you can hear a baby in the background, it's William. Currently Melissa and William are here watching me, watching this flight. I'm not sure you'll see them on camera, but he says hello. He's smiling his head off at the moment. I think he's going to be a plane enthusiast as well, you know, I really do. But yeah, we've got the full walk around here, so I'll just show you a little bit of it. Take the static port off here, the chocks, and the engine covers. You can check the ailerons and rudder, all that kind of good stuff. And the thing is about this particular new series of professional aircraft from Black Square, it is the whole package. If we get right up close and personal here, you can see every nut and bolt. These textures are something else. They are actually a cut above what we experienced with the Turbine Duke. So we'll just open up the door here. Beautiful sounds, all by Boris Audio Works. Honestly guys, if you are a fan of general aviation, it does not get any better than this. It really doesn't. And I think there is actually a deal for previous analog overhaul owners of the 2020 version. You do get a nice discount off. I would recommend the bundle deal of both the Baron and the Bonanza, because they're great sort of together. They are fantastic value for money. You know, you're getting 6 different aircraft for around £35 with the discount. With this kind of level, that is unheard of, folks. It really is. So yeah, in the Micro-OLED module, as you can imagine, you could spend, well, hours just marveling at all the details inside and out. The textures are phenomenal. But we won't do that because we've got a flight to do today, and I want to talk more about this headset and the aircraft. And William agrees as well. So this is the business end of the Bonanza, and as you can see, it just looks absolutely jaw-dropping. This is what I love about this new package by Black Square, is it's not just about the core systems depth of the engine simulation. This does have the best turbine simulation in the industry, without a doubt. You know, everything is modeled. I think well over 1,000 hours of extra work and double the code in this particular model compared to the analog refresh of the original version. But not only that, you've got all the visual upgrades as well. So it looks so good in here. And sounds so good as well. Like the leather, the metal, all of the materials of the aircraft in this Micro-OLED module. It is the best I've seen. It is, in terms of the aircraft, but also in terms of this headset. So really, this is a match made in heaven right here. And I could just stare at this forever, but we've got a flight to do today. And let's go and check out a lot of these features, because this has a beautiful tablet with a VR static position, which I really appreciate. You can swap out your avionics. We're going to change our payload here because I have been flying this quite a lot this last couple of days. So what we'll do is we'll go for maybe about 50 gallons each side. Should be enough today, because we're going to go to the Matterhorn, which is going to be just absolutely immense. You see here we've got lots of simulation of all the engine components. It's actually mesmerizing to watch this. And you can clean the engine, repair it, clean the filters. Same thing with the electrical systems and the cabin. I really like how there's a target here. So because obviously even the fact that warming the cabin up is modeled, as well as the cabin pressure as well. You can inflate the doors so that you get a nice tight cabin. That's all modeled and it's all shown here. And in terms of failures, obviously there is an absolute ton of things that can go wrong with this if you don't look after it. Right then, so now we're going to showcase the next big deal of the Black Square aircraft, and that is the checklist system. The fact is, folks, that you need to approach this like, well, I say a real pilot, but have that in your mind when you're looking at all of these checks, because things can break, things could catch you out. There was a flight I did in the Black Square TBM 850 where one of the fuses popped out, and I think it was, the avionics of all of them, which is pretty important, and I could not work out what was going on. It's because I didn't do my checks properly. So keep that in mind. This is a real living and breathing aircraft. It sounds a bit corny, but it really is true in this case. So with that in mind, we've done our pre-flight inspection. Control lock has been removed. Seats and seat belts are secure. Cabin doors are latched. No, they're not, actually. Let me just do that now. And one thing that is annoying, actually, and I think it's a Sim Update 4 bug, is the mouse can be a bit sticky at times. Like, it's not moving very well. But if that's the case, just do this, guys. Go back to the menu, and then it kind of works again. So just a bit of a tip for you there. Parking brake is set. Emergency gear handle is down. Avionics breakers are all in, by the way. These are down here. You can see here. Flaps are up. Oxygen pressure is, let's have a look. If you don't know where that is, guys, it's this little dial here. I can read that, by the way, in the Micro-OLED, but I'll just zoom in for you. That's within limits, in the green. That's all good. Avionics are off. Power levers set to idle. Prop fully forward. Conditional lever cut off. Aileron trim is centered. Firewall valve. That is in the open position. Some of these things are a bit confusing because open sometimes means in and open can mean out depending on the lever. That's a bit confusing, but that's like that in the real aircraft. Ice deflector is off. That's basically our inertial separator. Bless you, William. That's down here. We'll have that on actually because obviously it's quite snowy today. So we might have that on for takeoff. Oil door needs to be open. That's this guy here, look. So pull to close. So we'll have that in the open position. Landing gear is down, sub panels, switches, they're all off. Turbine, that's all this stuff here. The starter, fuel pump and ignition is all off as well. Main circuit breakers are all in, I've just shown that. Alternate static source is normal. The CO detector, that's the carbon monoxide. That is modelled, you know, folks. You could actually pass out if this breaks. So that's green, that's a good thing. Fuel selector is on the fullest tank. Beacon light is on and battery will now be switched on. Love it, absolutely love this aircraft. Friggin' amazing. It's a masterpiece, folks, it really is. A no-brainer. So bus faults are looking to be where they should be. Annunciator test, that's that button down here. Yep, all good. And another thing as well, I did a night flight in this because the panel lights on this are amazing. And of course, when the OLED screen, oh, it's just to die for. And when you first start the aircraft, the lights start to dim because of the load on the battery. Things like that are just so special. Right, standby alternator can now be switched on. I've got my Bravo here, by the way. I'm still using that. And I really do like this yoke. It's cheap, but very cheerful. Nothing wrong with it. Fuel pump. Right, we need to make sure we can hear that. So, fuel pump 1 and 2. Ignition on. Standby gyro pump. That's this guy here. Now, look at the gyro spinning to life. I'm going to zoom in for you so you can see the modelling on this. It's incredible. And that in itself is just an absolute thing of beauty. And then instrument air should be in the green. That's this dial here. And by the way, you can tap all of these gauges to get a better reading. Like the Duke as well. That's all good, so we'll switch that off. Okay, I think we're ready for engine start, folks. So, William, are you ready? Yep, I think he's ready. Great stuff. So the oil door needs to be closed unless it's exceptionally cold. Well, even though we're in Courchevel, to be fair, the temperature isn't too bad. So I think we'll keep that open. So the starter will come on. Things will happen very quickly. You've got to make sure you check for hot starts and hung starts, okay? All that is definitely modelled. So be careful you don't introduce fuel straight away because the gas generator, sorry, the ITT can go right up and that can cause all sorts of problems. So here we go. So ignition on. Let's go. So we're waiting for, I think it's 15% on the gas generator here. I'm going to go a little bit higher there. Maxing out at around 18%. Introducing fuel. I'll check that ITT. That should now go down pretty damn quick, hopefully. Keeping a close eye. This is the thing about this aircraft, is every start is an event. You never know what you might get, so keep a keen eye on those gauges. Okay, that's a good start. Excellent. Now we're at over 50%. We can then push the starter to generator. Ignition go to auto. And yeah, sounding really, really nice here. Very, very nice. Now we do have headphone simulation, which I absolutely adore. Really, really cool. And you can even change it to have more noise cancellation or less. Again, fantastic feature. Thank you, Black Square, for that, because I am definitely going to do a big tour in this aircraft. Absolutely. So, okay, it actually says ignition's off, so we'll do that. Oh, we've got a sticky mouse again, look. That is really annoying. Oh, that's okay again. I don't know what's causing that, folks. Let me know in the comments below. Alright, instrument check. All good. Generator is now on. Bus faults are within limits. After starting, right, listen to this. This is the Avionics now coming online. Oh, listen to that. We have our GTN 750 installed for this flight. Annunciator light actually will be extinguished if I close the oil door now. So lights as required, we've got beacon, taxi, nav light and weather radar. This is also where you can see your engine condition. I've done pretty well, I'm quite pleased. I've got about 10 hours in this so far, and you can see here the engine is still good. You can check our weather radar as well. I think the weather today is okay, although this is live weather. Hopefully it's alright. Now for cabin air, as I've said, that's all modelled, and you've got these vents down here as well. Very cool. And if we look here, at the moment our target is 25 Celsius. That's far too warm, so we'll just pull that back a little bit. And remember, you'll have to keep adjusting that depending on your altitude. So look at the electrics and the engine all doing its thing here. We want our inertial separator on because we're getting a little bit of FOD into the engine. So we're just going to put our ice door on. And notice this little door here is now going to come across and prevent all that going into the engine. Oh, isn't it just amazing, guys? We've got this level of fidelity in the sim now. Friggin' love it. Absolutely love it. And all of these text, the gauges, whether I'm looking over here, over there, you know, it's very comfortable in this Super Micro OLED module. And the lenses are good enough that I can move my eyes around as well. I don't have to keep sort of move my head too much, because I can sort of look around about, as you know, this sort of area with my eyes, which is pretty damn good. Pimax have done a phenomenal job with the optics on this, they really have. Alright then, landing light is on, strobe is on. We've just done our before takeoff checklist off camera. This is gonna be one hell of a ride, and actually I do miss my motion rig, because this sort of flying is just immense with a motion rig. So we'll have to do that again at some point. Right, all is good. pitot heat is coming on. T's and P's are all in the green. Are you ready, folks? This is going to be one hell of a ride. Taking off from Courchevel. Here we go. Down that ramp. Oh, just that feeling in VR is absolutely amazing. This thing is a rocket ship, so we're going to be airborne pretty much now. Yeah, coming up. Careful not to over torque the aircraft. This is actually with the inertial separator on, of course, so we would get even more power. And you need to really keep an eye on those gauges, but look at the climb rate we're getting. Even at 7,000 feet, we're now up to 2,000 feet per minute already. Flaps coming up. Just look at these visuals here, folks. Friggin' incredible. Absolutely just mind-blowing. And in the Micro OLED module, freaking just, I don't know what else to say, guys. Honestly, I just can't believe the combination of clarity, the clean, crisp look of this display, and not just the clarity itself, but the colors and the lack of mirror. You know, it doesn't look like I'm looking through a panel. And I've said that before with the Mega Next, but this is even better. It just feels just that bit extra crispy, and I do think those optics are helping here. Look at this! Oh my god! Wow! We're currently getting 60 frames per second as well, folks. I'm using the OpenXR toolkit, and I've got my FPS counter, sorry, the FPS unlocked, so that I can give you my full figures of what I'm getting. And with DLSS 4 right now, well, to be fair, it doesn't really make a difference if I'm using DLSS 4 or TAA mode, because at this level of performance, I'm not really needing DLSS. I've only got it on because it looks better than TAA for this type of flying. So yeah, welcome to the Black Square Bonanza Turbine Edition. Absolute rocket ship, and already we're at 10,000 feet, so that means let's pull back on the prop to around 2,000 RPM, and we're now going to switch on our oxygen. But before that, we're going to seal our doors. That's all modelled. If we go to the electrical page, cabin page, see here, that's our door seal, currently at 0 psi. Air comfort is a bit red, maybe because I have literally just shot up. In fact, as I'm talking, we're nearly at 11,000 feet already. This aircraft is an absolute rocket ship. So let's go and seal the doors. Listen to the sound difference. I'm just going to take the headphone simulation out for a minute. Right, listen to this. Subtle change there, very nice. There's a subtle change there in the sound as the doors are now sealed. You can hear the oxygen as well. Not sure if that'll come out okay on the camera. In the video. But the only thing that's really annoying me is this mouse. It's really sticking. It's like it doesn't run properly. If I go left to right, it kind of stutters, the mouse. And now it's okay again. Yeah, that's definitely a sim issue, I think. So, as I say, this flight is all about the Black Square Bonanza and the Micro-OLED. So let's talk about this a bit more now that we're sort of settling down now. This sort of scene here, where brightness is really important, well, it's decent. The brightness of this is similar to the Megan X. But for those out there that really want a true bright panel, this won't be for you, folks. The brightness is something that Micro-OLED doesn't do so well, and it's mainly because of the pancake lenses as well. Just, you lose so much light, you know, and we're not quite at that level with really bright OLEDs coming out. They're not quite ready for market yet. So I would recommend, if you want that feeling of being in a bright summer day with the sun beating down on you, then really it's the Somnium VR1 that I recommend, or perhaps the 50 ppd Super. But for me, I personally feel this is bright enough. But I have to sort of explain to you guys that, you know, I can be impartial to a point, but at the end of the day, I have my own personal, you know, things in VR that are important to me. For me, it's always been, I love OLED. I'm a massive fanboy of Micro-OLED. Together with clarity, eye comfort, things like field of view and brightness. The two things that this module really does fall down on is field of view and brightness. Doesn't bother me so much. But if that's your thing, okay, if field of view and brightness is your thing, I would highly recommend that you go for the 50 ppd or the ultra wide version of the Crystal Super range. Right, anyway, let's see how we're getting on here, because we just need to set destination. Oh, hang on a minute. Activate that. There we go. So we're only 13 minutes away from the Matterhorn. William's in the back enjoying the views. You know, he's got his own motion rig now, by the way. We've got this like rocker thing that actually has 2 degrees of freedom, and he's loving it. So already he has a motion rig and he's only 2 months old. Pretty cool. So Doff Reality, if you're listening to this, please let me know if you do have a baby range of Doff Reality H2 or H3 systems, and William will be very happy to unbox it and do a full review on the channel. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with a few nice shots on the external view as we head further east to the Matterhorn in the Pimax Crystal Micro-OLED in the Black Square Bonanza. What a combination that is! Right then folks, so welcome back. Absolutely stunning visuals, I think you'll agree. We're now going to take the inertial separator off. And the landing light. Whoops, you didn't see that. So, as we do that, we're going to watch for the torque to rise, and the ITT should go down as there is more air going into that engine. I think, anyway. I'm not a turbine specialist, but I think that's how it works, especially in the TBM. Yeah, I can see now it is starting to rise. We can tap the glass here, and that actually is modelled. Look at that. And the ITT is going down slightly as well. Super duper. And what we'll do now is our cruise checklist. And also, just to show you the run-up here, which we did off camera, you've got all that to do. There's a lot of checks to do with this aircraft, including prop heat, the de-icing equipment, the flaps, just so many checks, like the autopilot can all be done. And it does take a while to do all those checks. Like I say, this is the kind of PMDG of the aviation world, and right up there with A2A. And in some ways, in my personal opinion, in terms of the modelling and sounds, I do think this is better than A2A's recent effort with the Aerostar. Not to say the Aerostar is subpar, it is again right up there as some of the best, but I do like the way that Black Square has paid particular attention to detail to the external modelling as well, you know. So you've got the best of both worlds here. You've got the realism, but also the eye candy as well on top. And the audio, which I'm a massive audio geek, and it just has to be right, and this is perfect. Really good, great sounds by Boris. So, oil door, pull closed. That is closed. Ice deflector, well, we've just done that, that's fine. P8 will stay on. Don't need prop heat today. Fuel imbalance, that's something I haven't checked. Yeah, I definitely need to change tank. So fuel pump on. Check. Everything is all good there. Fuel flow is good. And we'll change now. God, this mouse. Oh my God. So annoying. To the right tank. Because we do have a bit of imbalance now. Too busy chatting. Fuel pump off. All good. Prop is at 2000. In fact, actually, it could go with going down a little bit here. There we go. Look at the visuals out here. Wow. Prop lever 1050. Slightly below that, that's fine. Oxygen is on at the moment. We haven't put our air conditioning on, but we don't really need it on today. But let's have a look at the temperature inside the cabin. Right, this is a good example. Now that we're really high up, the temperature in the cabin is only 2 degrees. So that's not good. So we need to make sure that we keep an eye on that. And now our target is jumped to, 20 odd degrees. Let's just slow down. There we go, 19 degrees. I'm looking here, guys. 19 Celsius is now our target temperature. That will heat up nicely. This is why we do our checklist, folks. Engine performance monitor. So we're all good now until our descent, which is good timing because in 6 minutes time we are going to enjoy the Matterhorn. Quite an incredible mountain, which that's one mountain that has escaped me on all my travels around Europe on the bike. I haven't actually visited the Matterhorn, so that's something to do at some point, perhaps in the BMW with William, because I'm probably not going to be on the motorbike for a few years. So I think we'll do a tour in the car next time, because I really do fancy going into Europe again and doing a bit of a tour, but it might be on 4 wheels this time, not on 2, with my beloved Yamaha FJR. So yeah, let's just talk quickly again about the OLED module, because there's one thing that I friggin' love about this. It's the Sony panel in this. I mean, there's absolute, you can tell it is premium, a premium panel, because I am a stickler for things like dead pixels or any sort of like noise, any Miura, and funny enough, Micro-OLED, there can be some sort of faint lines even with an OLED display, but this, you just cannot see any pixels. There's just no way you can see screen door effect, and the sharpness I think is better further away than the QLED, even the 57. Oh, we're overspeeding here. So the 57, let me explain, is sharper when looking at close text, but when looking further away, that's when the Micro-OLED fill factor comes into it, and you see sharper further out. And I think a lot of that as well is because of the lack of Miura. I probably should also say actually a few things. Pimax did send me this, okay, as a test unit. They said to me, don't even bother making a video, it's fine, we just want your feedback. And funny enough, I actually said no to start with, because I thought I haven't got time with, you know, being a new dad now and full-time job. I said to Jap initially that don't worry about it, I'll just, you know, just wait until the final version's released. But they sent me anyway, and I'm actually really pleased they did, because I didn't think I'd be this excited by this panel. It is phenomenal, it is the best, and it really has beaten the Megan X, which has been my favourite headset since February of this year, and it's been completely unbeaten. Now, in terms of my daily driver, it is close now, because I do still really love the Megan X form factor and how you can flip up the headset. So I think the next thing that I need to really work out is which headset do I really want to be in the most, because this is still pre-production. It's capped at 72 Hz. I don't have eye tracking, and the field of view is also 108 degrees or so. So because of that, it's a tricky one to really pin down. And that's why I'm doing these tests now, and that's why I'm now flying as much as I possibly can. Right, with that all being said, we're now getting 70 frames per second. We're so close. Oh, overspeeding. It's very easy to overspeed in this aircraft. We are so close to native FPS now in this. Unbelievable. But that is the Matterhorn over there. Let's get a bit closer as we enjoy the Black Square Bonanza turbine version, which is the perfect steed for this kind of flying. Here we go then. Look at that. I think the only thing that's spoiling it a little bit is the shimmering of the clouds. Something that again is a bit of a bug I've noticed in Sim Update 4 beta that I'm running at the moment. And there we have it. That is absolutely majestic, isn't it? And thanks to the turbine Bonanza, we've got the power to get up to these dizzying heights. We're nearly at 13,000 feet now. Yeah, that is absolutely phenomenal, isn't it? I can actually probably kick the rocks on that mountain. That's the resolution I can see here. Immense detail. The tessellation effects, the mesh. The way that MSFS2024 kind of uses algorithms to kind of showcase rock faces, you know. That is absolutely unbelievable views. The resolution of that terrain is so sharp. That is the Matterhorn in all her glory. So another thing about the Micro-OLED module, which is a good test because of the snow and all the white here, this is where you kind of see a little bit of that colour fringing or brown tinting on the very outer edges of the Micro-OLED display. And if you get closer to those lenses, you know, really get close, you don't see it so much. But I don't really like to get too close. I like a bit of breathability in the headset. So again, these are all trade-offs. But for me personally, being a flight simmer, I've said this so many times, it's really important to have a display, a panel that is uninterrupted. You don't have anything there, such as Miura, because you are looking at the sky a lot. And this is where Micro-OLED really does shine. And you know what, just for the giggle, let's turn the lights off once again with my sticky mouse to see what it's like at night time. Oh my god. Oh, just look at that panel, and again showcases the panel lighting of the Black Square aircraft as well, because they do really make an effort with the night lighting. This is a very nice place to be. Beautiful. And we can even turn off the floodlights here. That is, yeah, sensational. And in the back here, if we turn these lights on, just look at this. What a place to be, hey? What do you reckon, folks? And there is really minimal glare with the optics here. I've been flying now, because this is my second flight, for about 2 hours. And yeah, feel absolutely fine in this. I really hope they're not going to max out the binocular overlap too much with the final version, because this feels really comfortable for me. However, the field of view is quite narrow. It's not too bad though. I'm probably getting around 105 degrees probably. But I haven't bothered to measure it because this is a pre-production model. Anyway, let's turn the lights back on again, and I've just realised I haven't been using live weather. Okay, should we go and click it and see what happens? Oh, actually, it's even nicer. Oh, no, it isn't. Oh, wow, right, things have changed. Lots of cloud now around. Tell you what, we'll keep this. Why not? Make it even more challenging for us as we head back to Courchevel. Which is going to be... You're going to want to stick around for that, folks, because that's going to be a very interesting approach. And we are around, according to this, 35 minutes out. So what I'll do, folks, is I'll check back in with you and we'll talk more about this beautiful aircraft. Oh, we're getting some icing here as well. We'll talk about this beautiful aircraft. We'll put the inertial separator on as well. And this micro-OLED module as we come into land. See you in a few minutes' time. Right, folks, welcome back. The scenery en route has been absolutely spectacular. So we're currently doing our approach checklist. So fuel selector is on the fullest tank. Oxygen is now going to come off. So we'll listen to that, because there will be a change, because we're going to deflate the doors as well. So just listen to this a minute. See here. I love that. You can hear the wind now coming through. Brilliant. Little details, folks, that make all the difference. Landing light is on. pitot heat. Be fair, we can switch that off, I think. Actually, no, we'll leave it on because it is quite cold. Prop heat is off. Air conditioning, well, we've had that off anyway. Haven't needed that. Ignition is set to auto. Ice deflector is on. Flaps as required. For our landing checklist, fuel pump is now on. Propeller, we'll put that high pitch in a moment to help us slow down. Oil door, we'll keep that closed. Flaps as required. Landing gear will come down. And of course, we haven't used our autopilot either. And let's just go through a few of the things that might be a deal breaker for you for this particular optical engine. Now, the first thing is obviously the field of view. It is a lot narrower than the 50 ppd. But to be honest, if I had to pick between this and the 57, because technically the field of view in this will be a bit better in the final production unit. I mean, it's this all day long. And to be honest, if I had to pick between any of them, like I said before, it is the OLED module for me. It is a far superior display, but it is a lot more dosh, so factor that in as well. In terms of the brightness, it is inferior to QLED panels as well. This is not as bright as the QLEDs, which again is obvious, but in case you don't know, this is a lot dimmer. But in terms of the brightness, for me, it's absolutely fine. There is more glare in this as well. In fact, there's no glare really in the spheric lenses of the QLED panels, but there is some glare, and in certain situations it can be, you know, stronger than others. But For me, it's a non-issue. You get amazing visuals, beautiful, clear and crisp. You know, when looking at the clouds and blue sky, it's so perfect. You get perfect blacks. The optics are very nice in this as well. Probably not quite as good as the standard 50 ppd. I think probably the sweet spot in that, it does feel larger, but then the lenses are larger. In terms of performance, obviously I'm using a 5090 in this case. I will test it on a lower end machine at some point if you're interested, but I do feel that the rendered resolution target, it's a lot less, it's lower than that of the aspheric lens because there's less need for barrel distortion correction. With that all being said, let's now concentrate on this landing because it's going to be, yeah, hopefully it'll go okay. One thing I don't like about this pre-production unit is I am capped at 72 Hertz, so I can see a bit of flashing in certain scenes, but don't worry about that because the final version you're going to get will have a host of different refresh rates, including 90 Hertz. Now I hope Pimax will introduce a 80 Hertz option because I think that's the perfect sweet spot for performance and eye comfort. To be fair though, I have been using this for a couple of hours now, and even with the 72 Hertz option, I'm not finding it to be an issue for me, which is the first time I've ever said that. For me, I hate low refresh rates, but it's a non-issue for me even in this, which does bode well if you've got a lower end PC. This is really nice. I'm now seeing a beautiful sort of sunlight on the panel here, and you see the shadow. That looks quite bright to me, to be fair. That looks really nice. So we are looking now for Courchevel, which I've actually, I can't find it now. I've lost it. I think, yeah, if anything, we are a little bit low. So we'll just climb up again. That's one thing about the Turbine Duke. Sorry, Turbine. I'm so used to saying Turbine Duke. Turbine Bonanza. This is an absolute rocket ship. It really is. I really like how even the modelling of the lag as well. You've got to stay ahead of the aircraft because of that turbine engine. Right then, so I'm not sure if you can spot Courchevel, folks. It's quite hard to distinguish because there's lots of snow around. That's our runway there. We're now going to put our flaps down. And forgive me for not talking much at this point because concentration is the name of the game, especially with this aircraft, making sure all the parameters of the engine are happy. We've got one chance at this. There is no go around opportunity here. So full flaps. It's funny, I've done this approach a few times off camera, but now that I'm recording, you can bet it's going to go wrong. Bit more trim. We've got quite a 16 knots, 15 knots wind on the nose. A little bit high now. Here we go, folks. We're coming in. Just look at these visuals. Oh my god. Little late, but we're okay. We actually we got a bit of turbulence there right at the last minute, but we have made it just. That's quite an exhilarating approach, isn't it, Courchevel? It feels like landing on an aircraft carrier. Listen to those sounds as well. Beautiful. Whew. Epic sounds there by Boris Audio Works. We'll just park up here because our motorcycle is just over there. So folks, I think I'll leave it here. We've been using the Black Square Bonanza Professional Edition Complete no-brainer. One of the best general aviation aircraft you can get, without a shadow of a doubt. And in the Pimax Crystal Micro-OLED module, which I've now been using for over 2 hours, I felt really comfortable in this headset, I'm glad to say. Let's just hope that the final version, with the increased field of view and binocular overlap sort of compromising that, won't change things for me. If you'd like to order the Pimax Crystal Super or Micro OLED module, I do have a discount code, and I think there's a Black Friday deal going on at the moment as well in the notes below. That is affiliated, but of course your support means really so much to me, especially now that recording content is hard work for me with a full-time job and being a dad as well. But as always with this channel, just because I've got an affiliate link doesn't mean my opinion changes at all. It's exactly the same, makes no difference to me at all. Okay, rest assured. And that'll do for this video. Let's just switch this off here. Have a little look outside if I can find my controller. That's one thing this doesn't have, mixed reality. There we go, and welcome back to Courchevel. What a flight it's been. And really at this point I can fully recommend the Micro OLED module, so long as Pimax doesn't mess anything up for the final version. Oh, and William's just woken up as well. Right then, thanks for watching. I'll see you again very soon. Take care, and bye for now. And look at that seat. This is my bike here. That is one cold looking seat. I'm going to get a very cold bum.